Hello, my name's Linda. I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator and I'm making a card today. It's going to be a rainbow card and I'm using an ink resist technique. I have done this maybe a week or two ago, but I like doing it, so I'm doing another one. I'm using Beautiful Day. I'm going to be using this beautiful butterfly here and the Tropical Chic, and I'm going to be using one of the leaves. And again, I'm using some of this watercolour paper. I'm using one sheet of that. And I'm going to get starting. So I've got a piece of paper just to protect my desk. I'm making a 5x7 card again. That's my base. And I'm using the 5x7 watercolour paper. I'm just rubbing my watercolour paper with my embossing buddy to keep it nice and clean. It keeps all the grease off, any fingerprints, and it helps when we're actually doing our white embossing. I'm going to be starting with my butterfly, and I'm using Versamark ink for this. Just going to ink up my butterfly. And then I'm going to position this one at the bottom. I'm going to have them sort of flying up the page. The last one's going to be at the top, flying off the page. And then I'm just filling in some of the gaps with the palm tree leaf. You can't really see what I've done, but it is there. I'm bringing in the white embossing powder. I don't know what I'm trying to show you here. There we go, and so I'm covering my watercolour paper with the embossing powder and try not to overlap. That's what I'm saying, try not to overlap. Just heat emboss this. It sometimes takes a little bit longer with watercolour paper to do your heat embossing, and then the fun begins. And we're going to bring in some colour, so I'm actually using rainbow colours. There'll be a list of all the colours I've used on my blog post. The red is the only colour that is hard to get off of the embossing, the white embossing, so it does stain a little bit. So all I'm doing is I've put the I put my mount into my ink pad, and then I'm using my little sponge dauber, and I'm rubbing from one corner, and I'm going to be going up with my colours. And then when you bring your new colour in, you sort of blend it in a little bit with the red. So I'm blending my red and orange together and then carrying up. So I actually decided that I wanted it a little bit brighter, so I've gone back over some of my stripes with my little sponge dauber again, just to make it a bit more vibrant. And then I'm finishing with I think it's Gorgeous Grape actually at the top there. You can already see the butterflies coming through the ink. So a little tip to put, if you put a piece of paper under your fingers, it stops you getting inky fingers. So here I'm just rubbing over, I was just rubbing over that embossing and getting rid of all the ink, and now I'm flicking water on. And then when I'm happy, I'm going to put a piece of kitchen roll over the top and push that down. and that just gives a nice little splattering effect at the back there. Piece of vellum here that I'm going to wrap around my card, and I'm going to be using these really lovely dies, hand lettered pros they're called, and I've die cut in basic black, and I have got here hashtag happy birthday, and I'm going to be sticking those onto the vellum. But first of all, I want to stick my vellum to my card, so I'm just folding the ends over, getting my bone folder on there. You don't want to put glue at the front of the card because glue does show through vellum. So I'm just using a bit of tear and tape just to stick that vellum in place. So I'm using the sponge and glue technique here. So I've got a bit of sponge and I've got some just some Tombow glue on my silicone mat there. I just dab my sponge into the glue onto the back of my hashtag, and then I'm positioning them onto my vellum, and I've done all of those and just pushing them down. And then if you find it's a little bit sticky, you can put a bit of embossing buddy over it, and then get in a little clean brush and you can clean all the powder off, and that's what I'm going to be doing now. There you go, I'm showing you my clean brush, and I just rub over, get rid of that powder. Okay, now I'm positioning it onto my card, and when I'm happy I just take the paper off the back of the tear and tape and stick that down. Before I put this vellum on, I actually cut my card down just about 1/8 of an inch under the 5x7. So I'm putting a bit of glue just on the back of my letters here. So I'm actually using my fine tip glue, but it's broken, so I've actually managed to break it. So I'm just dipping the end in and putting it on the letters. And then when you close it up, you won't be able to see that glue because it's hidden behind your hashtag happy birthday. And I'm just finishing off at the back there. Okay, here's my layer, and as you can see I've just cut that card a tiny bit smaller, so we've got a little bit of a border all the way around. Well, actually I decide I quite like a black background, so I've cut a 5x7 basic black card just out of a piece of A4 cardstock, and I decided to go with a black background instead. It works perfectly well with the white as well, but I decided black was what the teenager that I'm sending it to would prefer. So I've got a piece of Whisper white card here, and I've just stamped the butterfly on. I'm going to stick that on the inside of the card, as now I've got a black card I need something to write on. Made more work for myself. And here I'm putting the tear and tape on my watercolour paper, and I'm going to stick that down. This is a great technique if you're prone to putting your layers on crooked. Just sticking the front layer in, the inside in there, somewhere to write, and then the card's finished. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. This is a great technique. So if you're interested in what products I used, if you look in the description below my video, you'll be able to see a list of what I've used. So thanks for watching, and if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do. Bye.